Well, hello there. So we're going to go ahead and get started and see if we have any stragglers come on into the meeting. Thank you for coming to the kickoff of the Legislative Industry Issues Committee. Very excited about this. Just wanted to sort of introduce the topic a little bit and remind people that NAWIC we were founded by women who saw barriers in construction and just refused to accept them. So this committee is in our DNA. These women, they knew that real change, lasting change, requires more than just breaking into the industry. It requires shaping the industry itself. That's why the Legislative Industry Issues Committee is so important. The laws, policies, and regulations that govern construction impact our careers, our opportunities, and our ability to thrive. If we're not at the table, decisions get made without our voices. This committee ensures that NAWIC isn't just reacting to change, we're driving it. We're learning, engaging, and advocating for policies that support women in construction. Because when we push for a better workplace protections, workforce development, and industry equity, we're not just helping ourselves, we're strengthening the entire industry. It's also important to note that this isn't something new. NAWIC's operations manual speaks to our role in advocating for the construction industry. We've been committed to shaping policy and advocating for change since our founding. This committee builds on that foundation and ensures that we continue leading the way. So I encourage everyone to get involved. Your voice matters, and together we can build a future where the rules of this game work for us, not against us. Because in construction, the future is us. Today, I'm excited to introduce the dynamic leaders who will lead our Legislative Industry Issues Committee. Nicole Wilkinson is the chair of the committee and brings a wealth of experience in construction management and design. Nicole is a seasoned professional at CDM Design, where she applies her deep expertise in navigating complex projects and advocating for impactful industry changes. Her leadership is going to be invaluable in driving the committee's goals forward. Joining Nicole is our co-chair, Jess Murphy from Tarlow Breed. Jess is known for her dedication to shaping policy and her unwavering commitment to the advancement of women in construction. With her experience and passion for advocacy, Jess will play a key role in ensuring that our voices are heard in legislative matters. Together, Nicole and Jess are a powerful team, and I look forward to seeing the incredible work they're going to do with this committee to shape the future of our industry.
Thank you, Kelly. I think that was verbatim from our pep talk the other night. Good evening, everybody. I'm Nicole Wilkinson, as she mentioned, and I'm a member of the NAWIC San Diego chapter, and honored to be here with you tonight with my co-chair, Jess Murphy, and I'll let her introduce herself as well.
Hi, everybody. Jess Murphy. I'm a construction attorney from Massachusetts. I'm with the Greater Worcester Chapter 241 and been a NAWIC member for 13 years.
Thank you. And I guess I should mention I've been a member since 2017. I joined LA first and then transferred down to San Diego. I live on the Mexican border, basically 150 miles from the nearest chapter. So I'm very excited about being able to participate this way and have an impact, since I belong to a chapter that I don't even live in the same city as, since there's not one here. And don't think that I didn't try to start one here. I did. It didn't work out. So we're going to get involved in another way. But we're really excited to be here. I was formerly involved with the Construction Management Association of America Legislative Affairs Committee years ago. I explained to Kelly, along with Jess and Jody and the other board directors as well, that my passion is really, as I exit my 31-year career in construction, to have an impact on the younger women coming up. And I think this Legislative Industry Issues Committee will be an opportunity to do that. Kelly was very adamant about a lot of the issues with this, and so we want to assuage a lot of people's angst about this. Jess, as an attorney, can also refer you back to the bylaws, and Appendix F talks at length about this committee and what we can and cannot do. What I really look at it as the chair right now is I'm only the chair till August, till we have national in Boston, and then Jess is going to take it over. So I feel like I'm just teeing it up for her to really get this going along during Kelly's presidency this year. And so we want everybody to realize that to start off with. The purpose is to keep NAWIC's membership informed of legislation and just current affairs, and advocate and just inform and educate. And what we really want to do and are asking of all of you, or if you saw my LinkedIn post today, all y'all, because I do say all y'all in a professional setting. What we are asking of all of y'all is to help us with resources, help us with information. Tell us your best practices and the information and the things that you're finding out and what is important to you. What's important to me is menopause. As a construction manager, I had a lot of issues with menopause. So that's what I'm passionate about right now. If you're younger in your career, maybe something else, whether it's the pump law, whether it's childcare, whether it's PPE, whatever the issues are that are going to affect all of us in this industry, we want to take a look at those and just make sure we're sharing information with each other. Additionally, we've got some other resources. We plan to work very closely with Health, Safety, and Welfare, DEI group, the education committees. So we already have some relationships that are starting to form with some outside agencies, thanks to contacts from people such as Doreen Bartoldes, who put us in contact with the Institute for Women's Policy Research. I've also been contacted by First Things First in Arizona already that wants to talk to us about how we may be able to have a symbiotic relationship together. So we're really looking for you, the membership, what you need, who wants to be involved, how you want to help, what resources you know of that you can share with us, and what resources you're looking for. Jess, what would you like to add?
Well, I appreciate Kelly's comments to start it off. This is a committee that hadn't really been routinely staffed, if at all, over the past decade or so. And as a lawyer, clearly love the law, legislation, policy, things like that. When we first got involved in the committee and had our first meeting, I know one of the things that Kelly had asked, or you had asked Nicole, was kind of, why are you interested in this, and what speaks to you? And that's the time when you had brought up first that your interest in making sure that menopause issues are addressed. And that is something that, having children or not, everybody as part of NAWIC is going to experience. My interests are a little bit different. And I think it's just to give a little context to this. When I was in high school, I was an intern in the State House in Massachusetts, worked for a state senator. He's become a very good friend of mine. And so I may even see if I can tap him to come speak at national conference when it gets to Boston this summer. So I was part of making laws and doing all of that, even as a high school student. In the last couple of years, Massachusetts had a really strong woman in construction who was our Lieutenant Governor, Karen Polito. She worked really closely with Habitat for Humanity that I was also on the board of. So what a great relationship we had in pulling her out. We did our NAWIC WIC Week builds. She attended all of the ones that we had as Lieutenant Governor, which was amazing. And so it really struck me that there's a lot to be done. I would like to see women from NAWIC, I think, as Kelly said, being part of the conversation and at the table. And I really see the role of this committee as gathering the resources, educating people, letting our members know where they can find information, highlighting policies and legislation that's been good and positive so that people can affect change where they are, and give people the resources in our community to really stand up and advocate for themselves. Because as Kelly was saying, a better construction industry for women is going to be a better construction industry for everyone. So that's kind of where I sit. I, of course, much more on the legal side, because if you ask me to search up any Massachusetts law, I could get you the resources, but I'm not sure that everybody has that. And I think it's something important that people can find what they need and figure out how to affect other change.
Perfectly said. Absolutely. We set as our goals to monitor the industry developments. And so we're asking for all of your help in doing that. You're going to see local things we're not aware of. We may see national things that you're not aware of, vice versa. So we really want to keep each other informed, empowering the members through education. And so starting this year, going into next year, as Jess is taking over, really finding those resources for the membership to provide training for all of us, and then assessing and reporting the impact of proposed legislation that we hear about or policies. Kelly's also emphasized that our bylaws emphasize that we are nonpartisan rather than apolitical. So while we don't support candidates or political parties, we can establish policy statements or positions. The bylaws are pretty strict on how that procedure works. really this first year, what Jess and I see it as is really gathering the resources and getting the membership involved so that we can move forward from there. But if you have any ideas, if there's any legislation or policy ideas, or even if your company has something that's unique that you don't think is out there in the rest of the industry as a standard and you want to share that, those are the kinds of pieces of information that we're looking for to gather from you and to share with you. At this point, I'll either ask if Kelly's got any comments or questions, or if anybody in the audience has any questions or comments. And we have provided our emails, Maya and Jessica's contacts for you in the chat.
So I know I'm gonna kind of like pull something out here, and Elise, I'm so sorry I'm gonna like call on you, but I was excited to see your name, like I said, and you are such a champion for tradeswomen and women in construction, and I bet you probably have a little input about this new committee that we've formed at NAWIC, and Elise is a part of the Midwest region, and she's received like the Carol Creeker, do I say it right? Carol Creeker Award, and
Award. I also
Carol Creeker. Yes.
award. I won a long ago. NAWIC gave a Tradeswoman Wolverine Award, or I don't know, some sort of work booth. So I'm blessed. I used to be a director. Glad to be back.
Yeah.
Love this, guys. I really, or ladies, sorry.
No.
But I really love that you guys are doing this. There's always been an issue, and I know it's nonpartisan. There's always been an issue. I'm out of the Greater Kansas City chapter, and there's always been an issue about the balance, because NAWIC is a 501c3, and you can't be a not-for-profit and get political. So, but there are so many things that that I am concerned about. Just like back when I went to high school, women weren't allowed to do the shop class. Women weren't allowed to do things. And so I don't want to get into politics of, that progressive thing. But I know from a tradesman perspective, because I'm also a vice president on the general executive board for the operative plasters and cement masons. I'm one of the highest ranking women in construction in the union trades. And I'm really concerned with some of the issues with the DEA that we're going to lose. And just like you've seen the corporate structures of McDonald's and some folks getting away. Now, I've seen others say, you know what, we're not going to do that. But and I don't want to get in the weeds today, because that's not fair, because I think we're doing this advocacy at the 3,000 feet. But this is just great, because we've got our hands full, and I'm a big promoter of seeing more women in the trades, more women in construction. I love NAWIC, rah, rah. And I hope, Jody, that's what you're kind of wanting me to say. So.
Girl, I want you to say whatever you want to say, because everything you do say is so great. So I'm so glad that you're here, and hope that you'll be a part of the conversation always, for sure.
I'm glad to be a part of it. And fate had me stumble upon it. I just saw the email 10 minutes ago, and I thought, oh, wait, I'm on Central Time, so it worked out good. So thank you all.
Yeah, and I see Julie, you've hopped on, Kimberly, also Nicole. I think the other Jody Wimmerschlag here might be Rita Brown, because I forwarded my invite to her, maybe, which she's fine to take that name if she wants to show her face, but
we're twinning. That's what we're doing.
we're twinning. So
and I'm not showing my face until Jess gets me my brownies.
Oh my gosh, this poor girl.
Oh my God. Here we go again.
I did want to just add, and I appreciate Elise jumping in there. So the idea about 501c3s not being able to engage in political activity is, it got a lot of twists and turns to it. But the good news is that on a real high level, what you can think about is that they can't be partisan. A 501c3 cannot be involved in a political campaign or be partisan. And what's nice is that the NAWIC bylaws, again, written, I think, 13 or more years ago, establish a great procedure for us for advocacy, how NAWIC can have a position. And as long as we're not supporting a particular candidate, but we're supporting policies, or we're supporting, we're advocating for certain changes, and not doing something on behalf of a particular political campaign, we don't risk our 501c3 status. Of course, if anyone has any more specific questions on whether they're doing something or if something comes up, don't hesitate to reach out to me. NAWIC National, I know there's counsel that does advise NAWIC National. They can always give us, more specific, but that's the good news, because people do often think we can't do anything political, and it's not political, but it's partisan and it's a specific political campaign. So that gives us some flexibility. And I think really the idea here is that if as a committee, we can recognize some good work that's happening in one area of the country, and then we can promote that to people and say, hey, do you have a similar law? Do you have something at the local level that's protecting you that you're aware of? We can teach you how to bring this to your local state senators and representatives, or how to bring it to your state, your US state reps and senators in a way that will allow us to affect more change. Elise, as you were talking about shop class, it did remind me, sorry to go off into a story tangent. I'm a big fan of stories. That's how lawyers tell what we do, especially when we're on trial, so I apologize. But I just remember in 8th grade, we had the decision at my school whether or not to take shop, art, or home ec, and we could pick 2 of 3. And I picked art and shop. And I was the only girl to do that. And they said, well, you can't do that. And then they came around. And when I got to high school, I also picked shop. And they said, well, you can't do that because you're going to wear a skirt and you have long hair. So it actually just made me think that thinking about the idea of, for those of us who know young women, who know girls who might be interested, we talk about Block kids as being a way to engage in that next generation. Could one of the things we work on just be educating people about, here's where shop classes should be open to young girls, and we can advocate and we can tell people, here's the law that says this has to be there, so that if you find it's not an option, we can say, hey, here's some resources for you. So I've got my first thing on the list. I appreciate that, Elise.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, and straight from the bylaws, just so everybody knows, it specifically says NAWIC will only consider nonpartisan issues related to the construction industry or issues of relevance to NAWIC members. So that's straight out of the bylaws, by the way. I have been speaking, as I mentioned, Doreen had put me in touch with that Women's Policy Institute and Ariane Hegwish, and we had a really nice chat. She was talking to me already. She got really excited that we were doing this. And so, Jess, that's one of the things I think I sent you and Doreen. She wanted to start doing like bi-monthly meetings, just so we could interact and chit chat and catch up a little bit. So I did put that out there as well. But she was talking about, for example, what you just said, Jess, this is perfect. In Washington State, they passed a law on bathrooms on job sites with water safe bathrooms. So that's a thing that's specific in Washington State, right? Is that something NAWIC would want to consider as a policy for advocacy for the country? Or how do you, just instructing members how you could possibly affect a change like that within your own state? So there's certain things like that where it doesn't have to be into the realm where everybody gets kind of, walking on eggshells about politics. I think we have enough stuff that we all agree on together that just needs to happen within the industry, that we can do that together. Tradeswomen's issues as well. There's the policy group on tradeswomen. That's another advocacy group that's similar too. And I would like to see us interacting with them as well. And then, my favorite topic, menopause, which I will educate you all about ad nauseum every chance I get. So,
can I just mention, so my name's Kimberly. I am the chair of the Sustainability Committee, and Julie's on, she's co-chair with me. And I know we've had some talk of collaborating with you all on, there's a lot of legislation around sustainability in the built environment, and often we don't see things happening until it gets put into some kind of legislation or code or whatever. So there's a lot to that, and right now a lot of it is changing because of our administration and things in politics. But so I don't have the ideas right now on how to go about that, but I do want to open that up, that becomes a topic of discussion and an area of collaboration.
Absolutely. And it's funny because I was just in LA last week. I went over there specifically for CMAA. I'm a member of the CMAA as well, Construction Management Association of America, had a program on sustainability. So I wanted to hear what they were talking about. So very briefly, I'll tell a story like just said. There was an architect there who's involved with the AIA. And the long story short, she's the one that got the laws changed in California to require architects to get additional continuing ed as part of their registration continuing license, right? So she's one of the people that put into effect that you have to take 5 hours about net zero energy design as an architect in order to maintain your license. So there's things like that you can definitely look at doing as well to affect the change.
And
Yes, and
let's not forget, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nicole. Let me step on you there.
I just noted that Kelly had put the link to the women's policy group, and then I just put the trades women's policy group as well in the chat. Sorry, go ahead, Kelly. Go ahead, Jess.
I was just going to say, in Massachusetts, they frequently give, I think it's middle schoolers, the opportunity to draft a law. And so in Massachusetts, there's a state sandwich, is the fluffernutter. Most states have state birds and state flowers and all those things, and those are all created by law. And it sounds really funny, but having interned for a state senator, it is amazing how easy it can be to pass a law. You find somebody who is receptive to what you're talking about, somebody within your district, or somebody maybe not in your district, but somebody who has a lot of construction going on. And you say, hey, you interested in construction? Guess what construction people like? We like safe bathrooms. We like, whatever it is that we're talking about. And you say, hey, I've actually written something and here's some research behind it, which is what I hope as a committee we can start to gather those resources for people. And then you bring it up and you can carry these things through either to committee, to hearings as they get talked about between the House and the Senate side in state politics. But these things become law frequently. And so if fluffernutter can be the state sandwich of Massachusetts, why can't we? I'm going to hold up a fluffernutter when you guys come see the legislative industry issues in Boston. But really the idea is that it is relatively easy to affect some change. And to start, you just need to know how. So being able to talk to people about how to find those resources, what to do with it, how to best approach somebody who's in elected office about these things, how to build your coalition of people who are interested and pushing it. I think there's the old How the Bill Becomes a Law is one of the greatest videos that a lot of us on here thinking about menopause saw when we were in grade school. But it's so important and crucial as we get older and we've got the experience and we've got the passion to drive these changes to know how to do it. So really going back to our roots, how do you get these things done? We want to give you the tools. And then working with somebody like Kimberly, the State Sustainability Committee, as Nicole was saying, working with DE&I, working with all of these different committees, with the ideas that they come to us with, combined with what we hope will be a platform on the NAWIC website that we're building that allows people to get the resources. That's really what we're looking at here, to be, I like to call it the springboard that helps these other committees really drive what they're advocating for. Oh, I'm so excited. Now I want to go back and watch the whole How a Bill Becomes a Law and make myself a fluffernutter sandwich.
Hey, we can make it a party. That's
You
okay.
legal dork. I'm sorry. Let me hold it up with this hand so you can all see my Ruth Bader Ginsburg tattoo.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I would be so curious, Lisa, what you think about all of this and the conversations and the things that you have going on. And you're such a wealth of knowledge of everything. What do you think?
I'm excited. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Jess. I follow you both on LinkedIn, so that's my one way of keeping abreast and updated on all topics menopause and law. Thank you for posting all that stuff. I mean, my background is education. I've been in construction education for 13 years, overall education for over 20. And I think it's just such a foundation of our success as an industry, our success as, individual communities. So I'm happy to be here, be as a resource for you if there's anything that I can do to support your efforts. As PDE co-chair and DEI education pillar lead, looking forward to that conversation as well to see if we can amplify your voices and get some great conversations going with some interesting questions and answers. So thank you so much for stepping up to this leadership role.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Lisa and I were in San Diego together and we saw each other in Houston last, I guess, right?
Houston and Hawaii.
And Hawaii, exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna
unless
have to have the next meeting of this committee is going to be held in Hawaii. Thank you. Taking no further questions on that.
Kelly asked if we had any budgetary requirements and we naively said no, but we were quickly learning. Anyway,
We'll talk to
we don't want
we'll
to
talk to Rita about that.
there you go. Yeah, we don't want to belabor this or make it any longer than we need to for everybody. If anybody has any other questions or comments, as I said, our emails are within the chat. Please feel free to reach out to us. We have not set the date of the next meeting other than this one that we're going to have with Ariane. So Jess and I need to do that, and we have kind of conflicting schedules, so we'll have to try to figure out how best to do that. But it'll probably be maybe every other month for now. But we will definitely get that sent out through Savannah's great help when we can agree on that date and time with everybody. And if you want to get involved, then please just do. This is just getting built up from the ground. We're helping Kelly do this and helping the board do this. And so just please reach out. Jess will be continuing it on next year. I get to just do a little brief stint here. So please get involved early, reach out to us, and we will let you know when we have these meetings. You all are all welcome to attend, and any ideas or questions you have, Elise, we'd also love to hear from you as well. Kelly, anything else you would like to add?
Oh, I'm super excited about the folks that could find time to join in today. Again, the committee is going to be as impactful as we can get engaged members to support it, right? It's got some terrific leads going on, and the conversation today with some really powerful committees that are trying to do good work and some passionate members that have experience that we can leverage. Like, please participate and make this yours.
Absolutely. If anyone has anything else, good for the order.
I just want to thank Kelly and you all for putting this together. I've been around a long time, and it's something that we've really struggled with. So kudos for you all on starting it, and I look forward to helping out and being a part of it. So count me in.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, and some of the chapters do have these committees already, so we also want to speak with those chapters that have been doing it for a while too, to kind of find out where some of the landmines are and learn from them as well. So we'll be reaching out to those chairs from those other chapters as well. All right. If there is nothing else, please reach out. You have our emails, and we look forward to working with all of you and working for all of you all.
Thank
right.
you.
Be safe, everybody.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Nicole.
Bye-bye.
Bye.